What is going on, guys? It is May 4th, 8 a.m. right now. As you saw, I got fasted cardio in already, cooking up some breakfast right now. But in today's video, we are going over something that is absolutely essential for every man to hear, and that is how to build confidence, all right? There's so many guys out there that lack actual confidence, but they try to portray confidence when they're really deeply insecure, which in turn never allows them to build actual confidence, because you can only build confidence if you have humility, right? If you know that you don't know everything, if you realize that you have weaknesses, you have shortcomings, you have insecurities, so then you can work on those things and actually build confidence. But because a lot of guys are obsessed with having confidence when they don't actually have any or have a reason to have confidence, they never get there. And they stay these guys that are insecure and loud and trying to mask their insecurities with this false confidence, I call it. Because confidence is not just something you have. It's something that you need to earn by going through struggles, overcoming adversity, achieving things, and showing yourself that you are capable of doing things. Because without knowing that you're capable of doing things, without proving that to yourself, it's impossible to be confident, because then you don't truly know that you are capable of doing those things. You're just hoping that you are. But we'll get into that later on in the video. Like I said, this is something that I think is extremely important for every man to have, because you know, the root of being a man to being a good man, a masculine man, is confidence. That is like the foundation of pretty much what everything stems on. But we're gonna be going over that today, and also most likely doing a full arm day, or maybe some clips from arm day, something like that. But I'm gonna finish cooking up breakfast here. And one thing I wanted to touch on real quick was I was 188 pounds this morning, right? But I was 192 3 days ago and 190 yesterday. And I'm bulky right now, so that was a good thing. I was pumped up. But I was a little bit backed up, and yesterday I had a lot of really good shits throughout the day. And so I was 188 this morning, so my weight went down. And so if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, it's really important not to get too caught up in the weight on the scale, because that shit can fluctuate due to a lot of different things. Your water intake for the day, whether you did cardio or not and sweated a bunch, whether you're shitting the same amounts each day, all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna finish breakfast up, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. All right, guys, just got done taking the dog for a walk. It is about 10:45 right now, and I'm getting ready to eat meal 2 before the gym. But before I do that, I just wanted to get into what is confidence, right? Because before I can even really explain to you how to build confidence, you got to know what it is. And in my way of thinking, there is really kind of 2 types of confidence. The first one is more of the mental side of confidence, right? It's knowing what you know, but also knowing what you don't know. And even whenever you know what you know, realizing that you might not know. Okay. So I know that's a little confusing, but it's essentially knowing what you know, right? So we always want to practice humility. That means we're always a student. We can always be open to learning new things, but we also want to have the confidence in the things that we do know, so that we don't allow people to walk on us or abuse the fact that we have humility and run all over us and stuff like that. So we practice humility, but you also need to have the confidence to be able to stand up for yourself and back the things you believe in. That doesn't mean having a closed mind. So whenever you're in a debate or an argument with somebody with different beliefs or opinions than you can't get so trapped in your emotions and your way of thinking that you completely shut out all logic and critical thinking and don't even listen to what the other person is saying. So a lot of people, whenever they're arguing, they aren't really even trying to take in and comprehend what the other person is saying and understand it. They're just kind of thinking of how they're going to counter the person's argument while they're talking. That's not what somebody who's confident does. Somebody who's confident knows what they know, but they're open to the possibility that they might be wrong, and that the other person might present some new information that they were unaware of that might change their perspective. So that's really like the more mental side of confidence, right? Because you can't be truly confident in what you believe or your opinions on things, your ideologies, if you're not willing to hear other people out, and you're so closed-minded and so afraid of your beliefs being challenged that you're not even willing to hear other people out. That's not confidence, that's fear. Confidence is allowing other people to speak their mind and actually hearing them out, and then being able to actually explain why you're correct or why you believe the things you do. That's what someone who's confident does. So that's more like the mental side of confidence. The other aspect of confidence is the confidence in your capabilities and your abilities to do the things you set your mind to. And a lot of people want to believe that they have this confidence, but a lot of people don't. Today, especially like in America, for example, a lot of young men don't have to go through very much struggle in order to be successful. So they never develop actual confidence in their abilities. They're left with this insecurity of not really understanding or knowing what they're capable of. And so they try to mask that insecurity, and they try to mask this insecurity by portraying this loud, obnoxious, big version of false confidence is kind of what I call it. So let's say, for example, you were on a fitness journey, you got absolutely shredded, and your friends just kind of got like a dad bod or or something, right? You're talking about how difficult it was and everything. And your friend's like, oh, well, I could do that. Meanwhile, he's never done anything to be able to prove to himself that he has the discipline or work ethic to be able to do it. And you're like, no, I don't think you could. You don't realize how hard it is. And he's like, no, dude, I could do it, man. Fuck you, that kind of thing. And he gets defensive to try to protect his ego and the fact that he's actually insecure and is unsure of himself and doesn't know if he's capable of doing it. So he's trying to hide from the fact that he doesn't know if he's capable of it and unsure of himself by portraying this overt, loud confidence. So the only way to really achieve this confidence is by putting yourself through struggle, through adversity, and overcoming it and showing yourself that you're capable of overcoming things, because then you have the knowledge that you are capable. You've proved it to yourself through experience, and that's the only way to really gain real confidence. Anybody that hasn't done that is just having this false confidence that I mentioned. And a lot of people mistake being confident with not having insecurities, shortcomings, weaknesses, any of that stuff. But the reality is everybody has insecurities, shortcomings, weaknesses, all these things. It's just the difference between somebody who's confident and insecure is someone who's confident recognizes these things. He's aware of them and he works on them and he's conscious of them. So if he's getting into an argument with somebody who has differing beliefs than him, he's aware of the fact that maybe he's a little bit insecure because he isn't as read up on his side of the argument. So he doesn't lash out and get defensive. He just says to the person, I need to read up on this more. I understand your point of view. You made some good points, but I got to read up on it more and I'll get back to you. Rather than getting defensive and just saying, no, you're wrong. Somebody who's confident and is overweight isn't going to get defensive and say, oh, I could lose this weight if I wanted to. I just don't want to. Somebody who's confident is going to say, I don't really know if I have the discipline or work ethic to be able to lose this weight. That's why I haven't tried. I'm kind of afraid to put myself through that situation because I might prove myself right that I don't have the capability of doing it, which if that is you, you do have the capability. You just need to fucking go for it, put your ass in gear and get to work so that you can actually develop that confidence. So as you can see, someone who's confident, they're aware of their shortcomings, their weaknesses and everything, and that allows them to then be confident rather than them hiding from it and them hiding it deep down in their subconscious and it coming out in passive aggressive ways towards other people and the people around them. And a big part of confidence as well is not just having these insecurities and being aware of them and everything, but also taking action on them and actively working to get better in those aspects of your life. As long as it's something that you can work on, right? If it's something that's physical that you were born with, like a birthmark, for example, obviously you can't work on that, but just being aware of it and just embracing and accepting the fact that it's part of who you are. For example, I'm 5'8", so a lot of guys will comment on my physique that are jealous or insecure or whatever and be like, oh, you're short, blah, 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 this and that, even though, just saying, 5'8" is the average height in all the world, okay, so it's not short, but I'll just be like, yeah, man, I am 5'8". Like that's that's my height. I've been that my entire life. It's never held me back. And yeah, I don't really know what you want me to say to that. You know what I mean? So like the fact that I'm aware of the fact that that's my height, I can't do anything to change it. Sure, if I could hit a button and become 6 foot, that'd be fucking sick. But I can't. This is just the way I am. So I just accept it. And so nobody can really come at me for it because it doesn't offend me because I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between being confident and trying to hide from your insecurities. So essentially that is like the two kind of types of confidence. So throughout the video, I'll be going over some ways to build your confidence and get to the point where you are actually confident and start to kind of find yourself in that. Alrighty guys, so we are just getting the post-workout meal ready to go right now. And I just wanted to say, if you leave comments on my videos, just know that they mean the absolute fucking world to me. You guys have no idea how much it means to me whenever I read a comment. Just even saying that you liked the video. A lot of you guys have been leaving longer ones that are, really thought out, and like I can't express the amount of gratitude I have for those comments, because the thing is that I derive most of my purpose on this earth from helping people. Like that's what makes life worth living for me. That's why I do social media. That's why I'm doing YouTube now, because a lot of people, they do social media and all this stuff because they see it as a way to make money. They see it as a way to gain status in society, boost their ego and stuff like that, when it's never been about that for me. I started because after the Marine Corps, I went through a severe depression, full-on identity crisis, no clue who I was. And I discovered myself, gained confidence in myself, and created the life I have now really through bodybuilding. And I wanted to share that journey with people so that they could see that they could do it too. And I wanted to help them along that way, whether it be through motivation or tips and stuff like that. I just wanted to help people, I wanted to help people grow and go from that lowest low that I was at. I want to say reach their full potential, but be on the path to reaching their full potential and continuously growing their potential bigger and bigger through fitness, through bodybuilding, through just life advice, whatever it may be. That was always my goal and still is my goal. And that's why I see a lot of comments too talking about how my videos and stuff, they aren't like a lot of other people's. I'm kind of making my own path on here and stuff. And that's because my videos aren't for entertainment. My videos aren't for boosting my ego. They aren't centered around showing you just my life. You know what I mean? They're centered around you guys, the people watching. They're all centered around giving you guys advice and trying to help you to grow as a man and in life, because that's my goal. I want to help people grow. And that's why my job, you know, as a coach, perfect job for me, because I always say if there was a society with no money, I would still do online coaching, because I love that I'm helping people change their life. That's what it is for me. Now, sure, do I make money from it? Yeah, but like that's just an added benefit. The real value for me, the real purpose for me is that I'm changing people's lives, because a lot of people don't look at things on a macro level. They just look at it as a micro level, right? But in my eyes, if I'm helping if one person sees my video and it helps them grow as a person, then they might help 3 people grow. And then those 3 people might help 3 more people. And now it's compounding. And that's how you change the world, man. You know, like as funny as it sounds, like that's how you change the world. Changing one life can change multiple, and then they're changing multiple. And social media is just such a great way to be able to start that journey of changing the world and helping people grow. And that's what I want to do on this channel and through social media and everything, is I want to help young men, and I want to grow a community of guys that are just continuously growing and trying to be better and always getting after it. And that's my goal on here, man. I just want to help every guy that comes across my page learn from the mistakes I've made, learn the lessons in life that I've learned, hopefully at a younger age so they can apply them sooner and be better than me, because they're learning the shit at a younger age so they can apply it sooner, and they can learn shit that I haven't even learned yet because they're doing it younger. And then they can spread those messages to people that they're in their lives, and it's just like this continuous process of making the world a better place. And I think it's just fucking amazing. And that's why my videos are the way they are. They're to help you guys grow and get better as men in all aspects of life: fitness, bodybuilding, and just mentally, spiritually, in relationships, just every aspect you can think of. And so every comment I see that gains something from the video or whatever, that to me is just proof of concept that I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing, and you guys are taking messages away from this, and that it's not a waste of time or something, and then it's actually helping people. And so that just means the fucking world to me. So I just want to say thank you to anybody and everybody that leaves comments and stuff. Just means more than you can even imagine to me. So something else I wanted to talk about as far as, you know, on your journey to becoming a better man, the best version of yourself, is being careful of falling into extreme groups, okay? And we all do this at one point in our life, whether it be a political party or falling into like the extreme, like all women are cheaters and manipulative and liars group, or on the woman's side, you know, all men are evil and abusive. Whenever you're falling into an extreme one-sided group like this, it takes all logic and critical thinking out of the equation, and you're basically just viewing whatever that is from emotion. And usually it stems from some kind of past trauma, and that's where they get these extreme views that don't really have any substance to them or objective reality. Maybe you got broken up with and cheated on like 3 or 4 times, so now you think all women are manipulative and cheaters and evil. Obviously, you had a past trauma. Now it changed your perception, and you're looking at it like, okay, there's this pattern that happened in my life, and so now that must mean that this is true of this entire group of people. And a lot of people will draw this conclusion because patterns are a good way to form general ideas about certain groups of people, right? But you have to be careful with this, because you also have to be able to look at it objectively and see if the pattern actually makes logical sense. And this is something that I think is hardwired in our brain, you know, developing patterns so that we can stay away from danger and stuff. Like our ancestors, for example, they were walking through the woods and they came across a shit in the woods, right? And a bear attacked them and killed a couple of them. And that happened 3 or 4 times in a row. And so now this 4th time they walk by a pile of shit, and so now they just run in the opposite direction because of the past events that occurred. But this time it wasn't a bear shit, it was a deer shit. So whenever they ran away from the opportunity of getting food, and this is because they didn't look at it close enough and realize there's 2 different kinds. They just saw the shit and equated it to danger, rather than looking at it objectively and trying to look deeper into the pattern and where it might have came from. So whenever you're developing these patterns about groups of people and stuff like that, you need to take your emotion out of it and look at it objectively and realize that sometimes the shit is deer shit and not bear shit, okay? But it's important not to fall into these extreme groups and one-sided arguments and stuff, because there's always exceptions, and a lot of them, like I said, are fueled by emotion and not logic. And you need to be able to tell the difference between the ones that have logic behind them and the ones that are fueled by emotion. Got intro workout ready to go. 2 scoops of Carb HD, 50 grams of carbs in here. Got the post-workout meal, 360 grams of white rice and 7 ounces of chicken ready to go. Gonna take some tadalafil before we lift to get that blood flowing so we can get a good pump. I hate doing this because it tastes like shit. Yep. But we're ready to go hit some fucking arms. All right, guys, it is motherfucking arm day. We're getting started. Today is a no headphones kind of lift. Every now and then I have lifts where, I don't know, the lift just feels better, not having headphones on, just being in my own head, thinking my own thoughts, and just kind of getting in the zone that way. But we're doing tricep press right now on the Smith machine. It's kind of like a jam press. Last week we got this weight for 11 reps. So we're gonna see what we can do, try to get one more, get like 12, and that'll be at the top of the rep range for this exercise. And right before this, we did unilateral rope extensions, and I was slightly stronger on those. So we're gonna see if that carries over into this movement. Like I always say, it's little gains week to week. One more rep than last week, and that shit compounds over time until you're adding new plates and getting significantly stronger. But yeah. But a lot of people don't realize that that last rep, you gotta fucking fight for it. You gotta push for it. A lot of people don't do that because they're like, oh, it's just one more rep or whatever. You gotta fucking fight for that shit. And that's how you're gonna get stronger, that's how you're gonna grow. But let's see what we can fucking do here. All right. So, fuck me. We got 13 reps. My eyes are like fucking bloodshot right now. Jeez, fuck. Got 13. Okay, snorted a line of coke or some shit. Got 13 reps. So a lot of people, that's another mistake they make. You know, my rep range there was 10 to 12, and I did 11 last week. A lot of people get to that 12, be like, oh, I did one more than last week, and it's top the rep range, and they stop there. A lot of times it's not a conscious thing. Their subconscious little bitch mind tells them to stop because one more is gonna hurt. But you gotta push past that. If you can do more, do fucking more. At the end of the day, the most important factor whenever you're training is going to fucking failure. You know, if you're doing a high rep range, low rep range, whatever it is, all of it works. Going to failure though is the key. Just whenever you get into those higher rep ranges, you're throwing in other factors as to why you go to failure other than just muscular failure, you know? You're fatiguing your cardiovascular system and stuff. Talk about lung failure. Your boy's out of breath, but that's why I think lower rep ranges are better, but do what works for you and just go to fucking failure, motherfucker. Fucking failure. All right, so Arsenal overhead extension machine. Not a huge fan of this one, but on the upside, we are up in weight. I did 150 last week and I'm doing 170 for the same amount of reps this week, which is fucking badass. But real quick, a great way to start to build confidence, right? Because you're not gonna get results right away whenever you're going to achieve a goal. And that's where a lot of the confidence is gonna come from. But a great way to start to build it along the way is writing down those tasks that you need to do in order to achieve the goal. That way you can look back every week and at least tell yourself, all right, I did all the shit I had to do, and start to get confidence in yourself that you're capable of at least sticking to the routine, being disciplined, and doing the shit that you have to do along the way. And you'll start to get confidence with that and be able to stick to the plan a lot easier along the way so that you can get the results that you want to get. But let's get this fucking set. All right, so that was 15 with 170. I did that with 150 last week, so we're having tricep gains all around. That means the growing phase is working. Pretty much all this week had strength increases in all my lifts, whether I went up in reps with the same weight or I bumped up weights. Either way, seeing progress, weights going up. So that's a good sign that we are putting on some fucking muscle. Check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, we're moving on to biceps. First exercise is 2 working sets of standing dumbbell. Oh, fuck, my brain just blanked. I went full retard. 2 sets of standing, alternating dumbbell curls, all right? We're using the 40s. We're going for, hold on a sec. Yeah, and to whoever says that you're gonna lose your hair on gear, I mean, look at this fucking mane. It's genetic. If you're gonna lose your hair already, then you're gonna lose it on gear faster. If you're not already predisposed to it, you're not going to. Anyways, we're going for at least 12 with the 40s, because that's what we got last week. But, oh wow, my hair looks fucking insane. Hold on. We're going for at least 12 with the 40s, because that's what we got last week, but we're in a growing phase, so we want at least 13, 14, something like that. Got to do more than last week. And, well, there's one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, you know what it is? I remember. I love the first bicep exercise or 2 right after doing triceps, because my full arm looks like really pumped, you know? But then after about 2, 3 bicep exercises, all of the blood leaves the tricep and it's just in the bicep. Then my arms feel tiny again, but anyways, let's get to it. So we got 13, right? You'll notice for the majority of my reps on bicep curls, I'm controlling it the whole way up and controlling it the whole way down. A lot of people, whenever they're doing curls, will try to go too heavy. They only control it on the way up, and they just kind of let it flop on the way down. You're missing half the movement whenever you do that, okay? You're gonna be controlling the whole way down. But then you'll also notice for the last rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, I had a little swing to me, okay? I was doing a little swinging, but that's okay. If you're trying to beat a couple reps from last week, squeeze out those extra couple reps, that's fine for the last few. As long as the majority are controlled and just focus on the bicep, it's okay to get 1 or 2 extra with a little bit of momentum because you're being intense. Because intensity is the key factor to growing, all right? Yeah, okay. Good. One more rep than last week. Got the 40s for 9 last week. Going for 10 this week. Getting fucking stronger, man. It's all that matters. At the end of the day, as long as you know inside of yourself that you're putting in the work every day, you're doing all the shit you gotta do to reach your goals, it's all you can do, and you should have confidence in that. Because the results don't come fast, they don't come easy, but as long as you know you're putting in the work, you're giving it fucking everything, and you're doing the shit you gotta do, have confidence in that. And have confidence it'll all come together, and the results will come. Just gotta keep on putting in the work, even whenever the goal seems so far out that you can't even see it anymore. You know, there's some clouds covering the peak of that mountain. Just know that you just gotta keep taking the steps. You're gonna get there. That was beautifully worded. Give myself a pat. Alrighty guys, so it is the end of the day now. Sorry if I seemed a bit checked out this video. Was dealing with some, relationship issues, shit happens. Basically, my girlfriend this last year, she's been getting her master's degree, so in school for that, working an internship for her master's degree, and having to work a job on top of all of that, to make money. So she's been extremely busy, extremely stressed out. And so she hasn't really been able to, one, spend a ton of time with me, but also not really give me too much attention or anything like that, which I totally understand and everything, right? And so I still do all the stuff that I like to do for her. I pay for a lot of things for her, make her breakfast whenever she's here. I'll try to send her cute texts in the morning, all that kind of shit. But it doesn't change the fact that I still was starting to get to a point where I wasn't feeling loved, didn't feel cared for, and I was just kind of starting to feel like a resource, you know what I mean? Like I was just something that gives and doesn't get anything in return. And that started to eat at me a bit, even though I do keep in mind that, she was doing all this stuff, and her just spending the time with me that she did have was all that she really had to give. I tried to keep that in mind, but it still doesn't change the fact that I was feeling the way I felt. And so, caused a little issue this morning, whatever, not a huge deal. I ended up telling her about it and expressing how I was feeling and everything, which we've talked about it a couple times over the last year. But she's finally done with school now, finally done with her internship. So we're gonna be working on rekindling things and just kind of getting back to where we were before all this. But the reason I even bring this up to begin with is because I feel like a lot of guys in relationships today, they are so quick to bail on the relationship the minute things aren't going their way. I feel like a lot of people are very selfish in relationships, and they don't think about the other person's circumstances at all. And they only really think about themselves and how they feel in the moment. And whenever in the moment they aren't feeling the way they want to feel or whatever, they bail. And I feel like a lot of people also lack communication skills. So whenever they're feeling a certain way, they don't express it to the other person. And it comes out as resentment, or it comes out passive aggressively where they ignore the person or they're mean to the person. The other person doesn't understand why they're acting that way because they haven't expressed how they feel, and it just causes all these big issues. Versus if you would have just communicated the thing to the person, you could have talked about it and grow in your relationship together through that. As far as the first part, you need to understand your relationship isn't always going to be perfect. There's going to be periods of time in your relationship where maybe one person is extremely busy, extremely stressed out, and they aren't able to give much. And that's just something you need to learn to work through. And every time it happens, come up with fail-safes and ways to get better through those periods of time. Because that's the only way you can grow a relationship. If you bail every time something like that happens, you're just going to be restarting with a new person, and you're going to get to that point eventually, because every relationship's going to have that. They're not going to be perfect the entire time. So you just need to learn to communicate, and you need to find somebody that you want to stick through those highs and lows with and grow with in your relationship, so that going through those is worth it because you're building something bigger than that. You know what I mean? But as far as confidence goes and everything, one more thing I wanted to touch on real quick is that a lot of people, they want to be confident in themselves. They want to be confident and they know themselves. They know their ideologies, their beliefs, and they're firm in them. But a lot of people really aren't. They want to be, but they aren't. A lot of people just regurgitate what they hear online and what people they look up to are saying and what they believe. They don't understand the reason they think the things they do. They don't understand why they do the things they do. A lot of people don't understand their subconscious and how it works, and how a lot of these things that we think, do, and feel are derived from our childhood and our past experiences. And once you begin to understand those things, you get a better understanding of who you are as a person, why you are the way you are, and you can kind of start to figure out how you can work on those things and become a better person and work on the things that are, you know, bad about yourself and stuff like that. But I think one of the biggest things a lot of people need to work on is just like not just regurgitating other people's thoughts and ideas, and developing your own thoughts and ideas, and developing critical thinking skills so that you can take little bits and pieces of other people's ideas and thoughts, but use them in your own way. You know what I mean? Be your own fucking person. Stop just being a robot and another version of someone else. But like I said, a little bit mentally checked out from the day. I still got to eat one more time, upload today's YouTube video and everything. So I didn't get to touch on things as much as I wanted to. So I do apologize for that. But I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. And I hope you enjoyed.